Hey everyone, this is MK with Gamey Daddy, and today I wanted to give a 3-hour synopsis on Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Now, we played the game here on Gamey Daddy. One of our team members pretty much played the game. His name's Buff. He doesn't want to be on the microphone, and so he played the game while we just kind of watched and talked about the game. And one of the fun parts about playing the game together with a group of analytical people who have an eye for games and gameplay is you get to see a perspective and a certain aspect of the game that you actually enjoy, or a side of the game that you actually don't like from a different perspective. So while somebody has the controller in their hands, you're giving critiques, you're pointing things that you think are actually good and things you actually think are not so great. And so that's the perspective that I'm coming into this game about. So have I physically played the Assassin's Creed game? Yes, I played about 40 minutes of it, but I've been in the whole process of making hours and hours of content for it because it's just something that we're doing here on this channel. And so I wanted to quickly give a kind of a 3-hour perspective on the game itself. So Assassin's Creed Odyssey is kind of following the Assassin's Creed Origins story. Origins I did not play, did not touch, because I'm not really a big Assassin's Creed fan. But I'm going to pretty much speak about the things that stood out to me in this game in the sense of positives, and I don't really have a lot of negatives to share right now because it's only 3 hours in, and the first for some people it took 2 hours. For us here, I mean, Buff played the first 3 hours of the game pretty much, and all those files got corrupted, and so he had to play it again for you guys. So please show some love and leave some likes and comments on the video, because it took a lot of struggle for these Assassin's Creed videos to come out. But first of all, let's jump right into it. First of all, the game starts out with Leonidas, the 300 mercenaries that went, his bodyguards, that pretty much go take on the Persian army. And this is probably maybe to set up the plot for the Spartans being kind of like the people group from where your assassins or your players will come from. And so to me, I thought, well, this is kind of nice. Everybody likes Greek mythology, and I really enjoyed that they used that reference. I really like that they went straight to the 300 thing. I mean, yeah, the gameplay, it's what it was. The combat was what it was. No problems whatsoever. Could it have been better? I guess Assassin's Creed combat is in its own sense what it is. And not being an Assassin's Creed player, it was kind of nice to just sit back, watch, like I've always done. Actually, I have good friends that are big time Assassin's Creed fan, and I actually enjoy watching them play the game because they know the gameplay mechanics and all that good stuff. So my deal was about the story. At first, when I started watching the the gameplay, I already had all the knowledge that the game is about 50 hours of gameplay. You're gonna have all these little things, kind of new things from the press and from other reviews going in. But what not a lot of people have talked about is in the plot and the story. And it's in the first 3 hours or so that the plot and the story actually get set up. And so starting to play the game, starting to watch, and kind of speak with Buff about it because he played it for the second time. So he was pretty much given a tour and guiding and walking through the game as he was playing the second time. And it was very, very pleasant. It was a pleasant experience. And so the story and the character development, to me, quite surprisingly, was very good. In fact, the conversations were funny and hilarious. We were playing as Alexios, and so the way the characters talk, the way they actually address things was quite relaxing. There was a very relaxed nature to the game. It wasn't like everybody was going to die like I thought. I thought, man, this was going to be a serious-minded game. No, the game came out, right off the bat. People were already making puns, making jokes about different things, and just having an outlook of life as this so-called place that they were in. Kefalonia is just like a town that I know in the United States where everybody wanted to get out, and so everybody referred to this place as some kind of terrible place to live in or to grow up in. And that's where your protagonist is. Your protagonist is living in these horrible conditions, in the sense of nobody likes where they live and wants to leave. And so you're here as the protagonist, and you're just meeting all these characters, and the conversations are actually very, you feel like you're in a village. I don't know if many of you have been in a village before, ever lived or grown up in a village. I have, in a sense. I used to visit the what we call the village back home, where you go see your grandma and you interact with people, and they'll tell you about things, and they'll send you all these errands, and you go do all this stuff. To me, I didn't see a problem with that. I've seen people say they have an issue with Alexios going to go help people get wood and do all these things. Maybe down the line that may, I think he's eventually going to probably be some kind of warrior or something. Maybe down the line that's going to seem ridiculous, but initially that didn't seem ridiculous to me. I just thought, this town is a podunk nowhere in, this whole Greek-Roman, or it's like Greek-Roman, and this whole Greek story that's being told. And so that was really funny. We all enjoyed the my wife and I, we were just watching and we were just laughing at the conversation. Very casual setting and a setup when it comes to how you interact with the game characters. And so this was very good to kind of keep you, engaged, I think, in a sense. And then you had, the ode to characters like Odysseus. And then you got to meet, these dynamic characters where you kind of didn't really know a lot about them, and then eventually you started to get their character development, and and you kind of knew that the story was going to be set up for something that's to come. I didn't necessarily know what it was, but it kind of seemed like they were building something, and I didn't necessarily know what they were building until a cutscene where Alexios is pretty much thinking back about his life. Somebody mentioned something about where your family, and he has a flashback. And there's a critical factor, I think it's a hinge point in the story. And if you've watched any of the gameplay videos, so they're going to be spoilers here, so I'm not going to try to hide anything from you. So Alexios is pretty much, in a situation where they want his father to sacrifice his sister, and he intervenes and kills the priest, and then his father has to drop him down this cliff. Well, before you even get there, you already see he's from a loving family, and he has a little sister that's a baby, and the sister's name is called Cassandra. So first of all, we're starting to think, oh my goodness, is Cassandra going to be, if you play as Cassandra, is the story going to be inverted? And I guess that's for you guys to find out. I mean, we already started finding out what it was, and I'm not going to go ahead and spoil that for you guys. And then you see, Alexios has pretty much been betrayed by his father, betrayed by his family, and what's going to happen from here on. And then the story is set up, and we find out that the whole time, all the gameplay and all the missions that we've been doing in the first 2 or 3 hours is just to set up the plot, to show that Alexios is somebody who has a heart to help people, sympathetic to the plight of the poor, but also a realistic guy. And I think they did a good job. It's an RPG game. You have to have some kind of a plot, and 3 hours to set up the plot, about 2 hours of gameplay, doing some of the side missions, depends on how detailed you are. I think that was actually ample time to do that, and they got that done very well. So in fact, when we got to the end of it, when it was time for Alexios to now sail off the area where he is, it was just more like a wow, I can't believe this is actually what Ubisoft actually put together in regard to the story of the game. Gameplay wise, the game runs smooth. I thought it ran smooth. I didn't see any clunkiness. Buffer's playing his on an Xbox One, and so that's kind of a standard level of gameplay that we saw. Everything went smooth. The menus are pretty. They are reminiscent of a solid RPG game. I don't know what you Assassin's Creed fans are looking towards. I'm new here, so you guys are gonna have to tell me in the comment section what those look like. I'm really enthralled, and I want to really know what the rest of the story is like. And Buff is he's a great team member here, and he's been pretty much telling me everything about the game. I don't care about spoilers, by the way. I usually ask what's gonna happen next. So usually sometimes he and I would just be chatting, and he's like, oh yeah, this is gonna happen next, and this is gonna be happening next, and all I say is I really want to see it. So we're gonna be getting some gameplay videos together for you guys. And for those of you who I don't know what your goal is regarding the game, I would say pick it up. Pick up the game. And I'm already impressed so far, because I also picked it up and I played a little bit as Cassandra, just to kind of feed my inquisitive mind and see what it was going to look like to play like her, and also test out the game's mechanics, because the game's mechanics are also a very good thing. I didn't notice any clunkiness, but I only played for about 5 minutes. But my goal is to actually talk about the plot and talk about the story so far. Now, at 55 hours of gameplay, are we going to have a lot of story or a lot of side missions? There have been reports that there are going to be a lot of side missions, and you're going to be leveling up on all that stuff. And ladies and gentlemen, to me, I think that's okay. The game is designed for you to play it for at least 6 months. I think a lot of people are just really eager to beat the game, but I don't think that's actually the intention of the developers. The developers intend for you, I think, to be playing the game for a long time. But then they contradict that by adding some stupid marketplace that's not even supposed to be there in the first place, for you to be able to get your time savers and all this nonsense. So when you get, and so it's almost like they're setting you up. But at the same time, we're adults. You spend your money how you want to spend it, but a lot of us are not going to buy a single piece or a single thing that's more than the game. And that's just how I feel like games need to go. I'm old school like that. But at the same time, these gaming companies want to monetize their products, and so whoever is interested and wants to buy is only adding to, and furthering this practice. What do I care? I keep my money in my pocket in that sense. We're not doing that over here at Gamey Daddy. It doesn't appeal to any of the team members anyways. And so, I feel like the game is intended for you to play the game for a long period of time and just enjoy and take your time. I can also understand the completionists and those who want to beat the game and move on to other games being upset that somebody might get an advantage using the XP boosters, and that's a valid concern, to be honest with you. But either way, that's how Ubisoft decided to ship the game, and it's really sad that they'll make a good product and then go mar it by adding microtransactions. Kind of how Middle-earth Shadow of War, eventually they put the microtransaction in the marketplace for an adventure game, and then went ahead and took it away because it was unnecessary. So Ubisoft doesn't have any justification here in saying that this time savers have any kind of benefit. They're useless. You can still make a 60, 70, 120 hour game if you wanted to, that will provide a lot of gameplay value and replay value for gamers, and it won't need microtransactions because they're just unnecessary. They're useless. Make a game that's going to keep people engaged and challenged, and throw that stuff away. But other than the marred nonsense of these boosters, time saver crap, you have on your hands a solid game. Greek mythology, deep storytelling, in my opinion. Dialogue was funny to me in the beginning anyways. I don't know how it goes further down the road here, but I really enjoyed what we heard and what we watched as we played the game together. I really enjoyed that. I mean, we got to laugh. It's nice to actually laugh at something that is in a game and have other people laugh around you, and you kind of get the sense that this humor is being shared, and Ubisoft has done a good job in writing the story and writing the lines together. And so that's a different approach to how we're going to be putting our games out there. We're going to be playing them together as a team. In some instances, some of us will play the games and then we'll just all watch and kind of critique what we think about the game and what we think about the concept. But it is about 12 minutes or so in this video. I want you guys to leave in the comment section what you guys think about Assassin's Creed Odyssey. If you're going to buy it, just leave that in the comment section as well. If you enjoyed the video, like it and consider subscribing, because we're going to go ahead and try to put as much as of this Assassin's Creed gameplay as we can. And the playlist is just going to keep going. And if you're here to watch Assassin's Creed, you know exactly where to go. You could just go to the playlist. Everything is listed there for you. If you're here for other videos, you know exactly where to find them. My name is MK for Gamey Daddy, and I appreciate you guys for watching and listening to this video. And I guess I'll see you in our next video. Peace.